So, who remembers this one being announced? Actually, I sure don't. I'm sure I saw something about this a long time ago, but it must have completely left my memory with everything that's happened this year. And let's be honest, guys, been a bit of a crazy one, so I don't think I can be blamed too much for letting this one kind of flow underneath my radar. Either way, it has arrived on Disney Plus now for streaming, and I watched it, and I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to say that you guys should definitely watch it too. It's very unique, it's very different, and it's a really, really good movie. So I'm going to show you guys how to draw Soul 22 from this movie, and I will move on to drawing the other main character of this movie soon, but I wanted to start with Soul 22 because of her relative simplicity. Now don't skip through the video because you might just miss some great tips that I've dropped here or there, so don't be a skipper. And if you like the video, please don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more tutorials just like this one. For now, let's get started. So the characters from Soul are really kind of simple, honestly, when you think about it, which is very good for the theme of the movie, and it makes them very easy to draw indeed. They're also quite appealing in shape, as you can see for yourself. So I'm going to start by drawing Soul number 22's head here, and it basically looks like a speech bubble, at least from our angle. You've got this kind of wide head shape, and it's a lot wider than it is tall. It's still kind of tall. It looks a bit like a Chinese dumpling. And we have this little bit at the back here, which isn't super visible, but if you look at the official artwork, there is a little bit here which kind of sticks off at the back. Now we'll tackle the head before we tackle anything else. I think it's most fun to start with the kind of cheeks first. She has kind of like a blushing cheeks like this, one here, and then one here just kind of rolling off the edge of her head. Remember that this is a 3D object. Try and do your best to picture it as a 3D object, kind of like a globe, kind of like a dumpling, like I said before. And once you grasp that, you'll realize just how far away that should be. A good piece of advice I have is get a ping pong ball or a tennis ball that you're not going to use for anything else, and with a Sharpie, draw some shapes, squares, X's, circles, or whatever like that, around it like this, and then rotate it, and you can see for yourself how those shapes look when they reach the end when you rotate it. So try that out. It's a little bit of a quick tip from me to you there. A great way to understand 3D objects. So right here, just above and to the right of her cheek, we're going to draw a circle. Try and get it as perfect as you can. And then at a slight angle, there's going to be an eyelid that cuts right through the middle of it like that. Then sitting just underneath that eyelid in the center is a semicircle. This is her iris. And then just inside that, again in the center of that, there is a pupil. I'm actually going to color that in very quick for you so you can see very clearly that is a pupil. And then the other eye is really quite close together. It's over here, and this one is another circle. It's not quite a perfect circle though, because again it's that foreshortening kind of look, because it's a 3D object. That eye is going to seem a bit squished inwards like that, just a tiny bit. So cut that in half there. There we go, another eyelid. Now this eye isn't in the middle like the other one, because she'd be looking off over here if we did that. We want her to be looking directly at us. Okay, I don't know why I wrote that on her face, but I just did. So to do that, I'm going to draw another semicircle, but this time it's on the extreme left side of the eye that we just drew, and then in the middle of that iris that we just drew, we're going to draw an iris. And immediately we can tell she's looking right at us. That's because this pupil is in the middle of this eye, and this pupil is on the left side of that eye towards the viewer, and it creates the illusion that she is looking directly at us. Now just to the right of this cheek here, we're going to draw a bit of an unusual mouth shape. It's got a bit of a smug look to it because she's very smug. I don't know if you've seen the film yet. She's a very smug character, and you have it curved up at the edges a little bit like that, and notice that this bends upwards just a little bit. It's not a straight line. It's not a straight line across. It edges just a tiny bit up like that. So now I'm going to add in her buck teeth. I always really liked that about her design. I don't know, souls could have teeth, but there you go. Apparently they can. And now just some kind of big wavy sort of water droplet shapes for the eyebrows. Again, that smug look dictates that we're going to go for some eyebrow shapes that are with one raised like that and one a bit lower down, kind of like, you know, you can smell what the Rock is cooking, for example. And now for her body, I'm going to start by drawing a very simple shape down here. I can't really describe this shape other than a cone that is sticking into the head, so you can't see the point of the cone. If I picture it for you there though, imagine that sticking inside. And so it's a bit flatter at the bottom here, and it narrows out towards the neck. So now to draw her folded arms, best place to start is the shoulder. Just draw a little semicircle kind of sticking out here for now. Bring it down to the elbow. The elbow should be just near the center of her body before it curves up. And now we need to draw the other arm kind of curving into it. So we'll start there and bring it out just outside of the body and stop about here. Leave a bit of space here because that's where we need to draw her hand. Before we do that though, I think it's ever so slightly easier to draw the wrist of her hand. It's actually kind of folding into this space of the arm there. I'm actually going to give myself a bit more room to work with there, so it actually looks like it's... There we go, it looks a bit better. I've drawn the bicep of her arm a bit over that wrist, so it looks a little bit better. I'm going to follow this over. I'm going to get to about there. And this is the point where I will draw her fingers from her other hand. This is coming from here, so it's going underneath. So folded arms are not easy to draw. If you guys want, I will do a tutorial specifically on how to draw folded arms. They're not easy. It's one of my most hated things to draw, but that is the pose I've gone for today. Now let's give her body a little bit more shape. I'm going to actually bring this in. I'm going to ignore the original sketch that I did. I'm going to add a little bit of a bump inwards. So if I erase this now, you'll see a bit more of a bend to it, a bit more of a natural curve to it, and it just overall looks better. For the sake of clarity, I'm going to erase these guidelines. You may want to do the same, or you can leave them in until you go over your drawing with a Sharpie or inking tool, or whatever you're using, just a bit of tidy up. And there we go, that is Soul. So that was a pretty quick one. I think we did that in about 5 minutes, which isn't too bad. So I'm going to get this finished off now. Feel free to do the same with yours, and I'll see you guys in just a moment. And there you go, that was a relatively simple one. I really admire the very basic character designs in this movie. There's something very appealing and, I don't know, just something that's so great about making such a simple character so unique and just great to look at. As always guys, I want to thank you for being so productive over in the Discord channel. It really is just fantastic watching so many artists just flourish and learn so much seemingly from day to day. You guys are doing some fantastic work and I can't wait to see more. For now guys, that's going to be it from me, and of course, Happy New Year. Let's hope next year is far better than this one, to say the least, and I'll see you guys next time.